Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So a lot of you guys asked for a Star Wars Rebels video, so this is going to be all about the Siege of Lothal. Technically, it's like the first episode of Season 2, and the rest of the season won't air till October, so it's a little bit weird. There might have been some confusion about that. That might seem weird that they decided to drop it during the summer, but it's probably just because they want to get people psyched up about Season 2, and I felt like it worked. It was a great episode. So just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. Let's start with top 5 moments, starting with the Ghost fighting with Phoenix Squadron in the Rebellion. All through Season 1, Kanan made this huge deal about staying out of the fight, and a lot of the arc of this episode was him realizing that, you can't stay out completely. It's in their DNA that they want to help people, make the galaxy a better place, so the Ghost crew helped remind him of that, and that's what the Rebellion is all about. Do not fight your destiny, Kanan. So Season 2, rolling heavy on the Rebellion, which I think is a really good answer to a lot of the complaints in Season 1. It was just like a series of misadventures from week to week, with, like a recurring cast of villains. Now it's more like the Ghost going up against the full might of the Empire with the Rebellion. The stakes have appropriately risen. Season 1 wasn't bad or anything like that, but I feel like it was harder to take it seriously when they were kind of like off in this little bubble to the side of the war between the Rebellion and the Empire. Like, we're going to try and help people, but we have nothing to do with the Rebellion, one of the most interesting aspects of the Star Wars universe. Opening the episode mid-space battle did not hurt things either. This was kind of like a special episode, so don't expect that much action every single week. But there will be a lot more of them engaging the Empire, cue rebel scum, rather than them constantly trying to avoid them. On to number 4, a much more complex Empire. Part of the arc of this episode totally would not have worked if people inside the Empire were not fallible. Not everybody has a total hard-on for subjugating the galaxy. So Darth Vader's able to play that Imperial officer against the Rebellion. He predicts she's going to defect and uses it as an opportunity to follow the breadcrumb trail back to the Rebellion. And they had the balls to kill her. That was actually a really great moment in the episode. As much as you can criticize children's television for seemingly not having any stakes just because, we don't want it to be too violent because children watch it, they went ahead and killed that officer, even if it was in a bloodless way. There's a weird thing about TV violence and blood. It even happens like on The Flash on the CW shows. One of the writers was saying how they had to dial back some of the violence because there was too much blood. I feel like them letting Rebels go in this direction is going to do a lot to address dumb stormtroopers. That's always been a big criticism, that like Imperial officers, stormtroopers, very dumb people. The expanded universe goes into it a lot, but I guess you can't consider it canon anymore because they changed everything. But it is really hard to get into the Imperial Academy, even to be like a normal stormtrooper. It's like getting into Harvard or Yale. So why are stormtroopers always so dumb? It's really a funny thing to think about. Really, it's just like they need someone for the heroes to be able to beat whenever they're handed a loss. Like Darth Vader, he's going to be unbeatable. He's always going to stomp the crap out of him. So in some way, the heroes need to have a win. And unfortunately, the lowest people on the totem pole are stormtroopers. So if you ever wondered why stormtroopers go down so fast, why they're so disposable, it's because there always has to be like a villain that's super tough to beat, and then a villain that's not so tough to beat. The thing that really interested me about this Imperial officer, though, is the idea that, Imperials have complicated motivations, too. It's just we spend so much time with the heroes, you don't get to develop a lot of those villain characters. We spent a lot of time with the Inquisitor last season, but he still felt like a relatively cardboard villain. Hopefully this new Inquisitor will be more complex. On to number 3, though, deep dive inside the Rebellion. It really doesn't become apparent till much later in the episode when they meet Ahsoka on the Rebel ship. They're inside the Rebellion. Even though the ship got blown up, I know they made it seem like they crushed the Rebellion. The Imperials were all patting themselves on the back after Darth Vader blew them up. There is more to the Rebellion than just the people at that battle. But now it really feels like they're part of this larger fight. They're like a small piece in the puzzle. They did a good job of slipping it in, but they did imply that there are several high-ranking people in the Empire with ships, resources, power. They just aren't quite ready to step out into the light and declare for the Rebellion. So, as many ships as just got blown up, they'll be able to get more. Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, both very big Imperial senators before they founded the Rebellion. But speaking of big people, on to number 2, the will of Vader. So we just have to say how awesome it is that they let Darth Vader out to play. Disney doesn't let that happen very often. That was always one of the big questions when the series was announced, way before season 1. Like, is Darth Vader going to be part of this? No? Well, why should I watch it then? But even if it's only for a little bit, we get to watch him tear shit up for an hour. if his character design seemed a little bit weird to you, if he looked a little strange, like the helmet, the tunic, it's because it's meant to reflect the old school Ralph McQuarrie concept art, just like everything else in Rebels. Rebels as a series is much more informed by Ralph McQuarrie's concept art. He serves like two really big roles in the narrative, like he isn't just here for sightseeing. One, on the surface, he's there to kick the crap out of the rebellion. He manipulates the crew of the Ghost, all the other characters in the episode, to get at them. The ultimate goal, crushing the rebellion. That's why we didn't see him as much in season 1, because we were following the crew of the Ghost. They weren't really part of the rebellion, so Darth Vader had no reason to go after them. And he didn't know about the Jedi. His second big role is to change the tone of the Jedi arc this season. Like on one level, you have the story about the crew of the Ghost coming together, fighting the Empire. On another level, you have Ezra training to become a Jedi Knight. Think about the battle they had with Darth Vader. The way he fights is very different from the Inquisitor. Season 1 was all about their skill as a Jedi. That's why I think they gave him that crazy double-bladed spinning saber. It was all about training to fight better so you can beat the really awesome fighter. The problem is that you're never going to beat Darth Vader in a lightsaber fight. Physically, he's too strong and his will is too powerful. So, unless your name's like Luke Skywalker, you're done for. The only way to beat Vader is to outmatch his will, and his will is like the most powerful thing in the Star Wars universe, next to the will of the Emperor, maybe. Darth Vader is not a problem that punching is going to solve. It was fun to see him use some familiar tricks, like, making people think they've escaped and playing their weaknesses against them, like burning Tarkin Town. Doesn't this look familiar? Ahsoka sensing Vader? Probably my favorite twist in the episode. I don't know how many episodes Ahsoka's going to be in, but it seems like she's pretty much part of the crew of the Ghost now. She very clearly lied to Kanan when she's like, I don't know who was behind that mask. I'm not sure. She definitely knew that was Anakin Skywalker. He sensed it was her immediately. Darth Vader immediately tells the Emperor, yep, that was definitely my apprentice. Hopefully they'll follow up on that arc this season. I feel like they wouldn't have set that up if they weren't intending to. But finally, my number one moment, the new Inquisitor. So Vader and the Emperor tease this new villain we haven't met yet, who's going to be like the big bad of season 2. One of the big things about successive seasons is in presenting new challenges and villains that fit with that. Like the skills you develop to overcome practical problems like helping the rebellion also help you fight the villain. So the villain should be fundamentally different from the season 1 Inquisitor. Here's my big question for you guys. What was your favorite moment from the episode? And, if you didn't really watch season 1 that much, did this episode convince you to watch season 2? Like, will you be watching in October when it comes? I really do feel like they were trying to push people's buttons like, here, look at all this awesome stuff. Don't forget, Rebels is coming back in October. There will actually be some Star Wars stuff at Comic-Con in a couple weeks, so I feel like they're just trying to carry the momentum into the fall. Like, they don't want you to forget that this is a series. One of the really redeeming things of the episode that I was really happy to see was the idea that the Empire is interested in Lothal for sinister reasons. Like, it's not just some random place that we keep going back to. Season 1 really didn't explain why we were spending so much time there. It's like, big galaxy, many planets to go to. Why do we keep coming back to this one planet? Now we know there's something special about it that we'll learn about over the course of season 2. As a season premiere, this was definitely a solid A episode, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes. Sometimes it's hard to remember that a lot of times season 1 of any show is the writers just trying to figure the characters out. So you get to season 2, season 3, and the show really starts to get interesting. That used to be a lot easier to do. Now TV is so competitive that like if a show isn't super popular in the first season, they'll cancel it off, so you never get that chance. So if you're on the fence about Rebels season 1, I feel like season 2 is going to be a lot more fun. I can't make promises that I'll be able to make weekly videos for it, but I'll definitely be watching. So in case you guys haven't seen it, I just posted a video explaining how Resurrection works on Game of Thrones. You can click here to learn all about that. And you can click here to learn all about the multiverse and The Flash season 2. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.